If you're still working past 60, there's a hidden cost, and it's worse than you think. Most retirement advice focuses on the upside of staying employed a little bit longer. You get more paychecks, more savings, a bigger nest egg. But almost nobody talks about the penalties that you quietly accumulate by delaying retirement unnecessarily. And here's the key point. This isn't retire early at all cost. This is about not trading your best years for a surprisingly small financial bump. Because once you cross 60, the decision isn't fully financial. It's a time decision, a health decision, and more importantly, a life decision. And if you don't put those variables on the spreadsheet, you'll end up making a choice that looks really smart on paper, but feels like regret a little bit later. Welcome to the UnRetired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. If you're building your plan, already retired or somewhere in between, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more people who are trying to rethink retirement and design the next chapter by choice and not by chance. Let's define what I mean by the hidden cost of working past 60. It's not one thing, it's a bundle of things. It's a collection of financial penalties, health penalties, and lifestyle penalties that pile up when you delay your retirement. And not because you truly have to, but because anxiety, identity, and habit just keeps you going. And here's the reason that this matters. Most people model the upside of working longer, but they don't model what it costs them. They only look at one side of the ledger, and that's how you end up overworking for diminishing returns. Let's start with the part that tends to surprise people the most, and that's the quantifiable financial costs. I'll tell you about a client I'll call Tom. Tom was 62, he was an accountant, smart guy, disciplined saver. If anybody knew money, it was this guy. He was dead set on working 2 more years to lock in retirement. In his head, more paychecks equaled more peace of mind. But when we sat down and modeled it out, we didn't just look at his salary and how much more he could save. We looked at the real after-tax picture. We factored in taxes. We looked at Medicare premium effects. We looked at how continuing to work changed his ability to do Roth conversions and lower tax brackets. We also looked at Social Security timing and optimization. And lastly, we looked at the difference between gross and net. And when the dust settled, those 2 extra years of work boosted his retirement income by almost $300 a month. $300 for 2 years of his life. Tom was stunned. And honestly, most people are stunned when they actually see their plan modeled this way, because the story in their head is, hey, 2 more years equals a huge security. But the math often says 2 years equals a small bump. And in Tom's case, 2 years equaled $300 a month that wasn't going to materially change his money or keep him from having the lifestyle that he wanted to have anyway. So this gets overlooked because conventional retirement planning, and especially all the online calculators, they tend to use linear projections. They quietly assume that every additional year adds the same value. But after age 60, the marginal benefit of working longer often drops, and drops hard. Of course, this isn't always the case. If you're a high earner, this could certainly change the math. But for most of us, it doesn't change the math all that much. And here's the reason why. It's pretty simple. After-tax reality is not the same as your paycheck reality. As you keep earning, you can bump into higher tax brackets, you can increase your Medicare premiums later, and lose the opportunity to fill lower tax brackets with strategic moves like a Roth conversion. In many cases, the years right after you stop full-time become some of your best tax planning years because your income is lower and you have more control. Now let's talk about a second cost that people rarely quantify, and that's health returns. I'm not gonna do the doom and gloom thing here, and I'm not telling you something bad's gonna happen. I am saying stress has a price and recovery matters. Working longer can mean more deadlines, more pressure, and more sitting and less time to train your body, to protect your sleep, and invest in self-care. And here's what's really interesting to me. The retirement planning industry and the healthcare industry operate in completely completely separate worlds. So people make retirement decisions as if their energy, mobility, and resilience are guaranteed to stay constant for as long as they live. And I can tell you, that's not the way it is. They're not. The stark reality is your health doesn't follow a neat, predictable line. Sometimes it plateaus, sometimes it changes fast, and the cruel part is you often don't see the shift coming, which is why time becomes the real currency once you're over the age of 60. And that takes us to the third cost, and that's the opportunity cost of your prime active years. For many people, the early 60s are the last best window of peak capability, where you have enough health and strength to do the bigger things you've been putting off. You still have the mental capacity as well. Travel that involves walking all day, hiking national parks, playing hard with your grandkids, building a new hobby from scratch, or just doing that dream trip that you've talked about for decades. Here's the truth most people don't want to say out loud. Dollars come and go, but years are non-renewable, and we run out of them. You can earn more money later, you can cut your budget later, you can adjust, but you can't buy back your age. I've seen this up close and personal in my own life and some of the other people that I talk to. There's one who I'll call Sarah. She worked into her late 60s for that perfect moment, the plan to travel, and by the time she retired, her body simply couldn't handle what she'd envisioned in her mind. It was nothing dramatic, there was no headline, it was just the reality, and her window had changed. And society makes this much worse. We have a cultural obsession with productivity, with one more good year, staying useful, with earning, with identity tied to your job. So we trade irreplaceable years for the illusion of safety, often without realizing that we're actually doing it and making that trade. Here's the social proof that ties all of this together. A large portion of retirees say they wish they'd retire sooner, not because they didn't like their job, not because retirement is perfect, but because they realized after the fact that the extra years didn't deliver what they'd hoped, and the time cost was way higher than they'd imagined. And that's the urgent part of timing. These decisions are final. You can go back to work part-time if money gets tight. You can consult, you can freelance, you can pick up income, but you can't rewind the clock and reclaim the energy that you traded away for a few extra years of work. Let me pause here and ask you a simple question, because this is where it gets personal. If you're working past 60, why? Is it truly necessary for your plan? Or is it fear? Or is it habit? Or is it for your identity? Is it one more year because you don't trust your numbers? Drop your answer in the comments and I read every one of them. Your response also might help somebody else who's kind of stuck in the same loop. Now, let's unpack the 4 most common traps that keep people working longer than they need to. And look, I'm not saying these are bad, I'm just saying that they're common, and once you see them, you can make a cleaner, more intentional decision for yourself. Trap number 1 is the 1 more year loop. It sounds rational. 1 more year to be safe. Just 1 more year to pad the account. Or 1 more year to reduce my anxiety. 1 more year often turns into 2, then 3, then 5. And suddenly, somebody's worked another decade, not because their financial plan demanded it, but because the fear never got addressed. Trap number 2 is the safety illusion. The paycheck just feels safer than the plan. I get it. It's predictable. It hits the account every 2 weeks. You get your health insurance. But a well-built retirement plan can replicate that safety with a withdrawal strategy, Social Security optimization, and an intentional tax plan without the 9-to-5 stress. That safety is more often in your head than in your wallet. Trap number 3 is identity. For a lot of people, work equals meaning, structure, status, and community. I get it. I felt all the same things. If work has been your purpose, you're not wrong. You just need a new purpose structure, but on your terms. Retirement isn't a finish line. It can be a launch pad. There's always mentoring, volunteering, part-time projects, new hobbies, even building a small business around something you actually love. Trap number 4 is the success trap, especially for high achievers. Look, if you've been a high achiever, you've been wired to win, to push, to optimize, and that drive can blind you to the plateau. Because after 60, the extra work years often don't add life to your balance sheet. They subtract from your calendar. So what do you do with all this? You use a better framework than maximize the number. In the unretired world, we talk a lot about done money, the point where you have enough to control your time and your choices. And timing is the same idea here. You don't need maximum money, you need enough money at the right time while you still have the health and energy to enjoy it. And that's why I like this simple framework that I call the optimal retirement balance. It's a triangle. One side is your peak health years, one side is your financial sufficiency, in other words, enough, and one side is emotional readiness, your purpose and your plan. Your goal here isn't to maximize one of these at the expense of the others. Your goal is to balance them. Now, let's get totally practical about this. How do you know if you can retire now or transition smarter? Start with a health timeline assessment. How's your energy? How's your mobility? How's your stress level? Your family longevity? This isn't about panic. It's about reality and making an objective assessment of where you are. Second, do the enough analysis. Not what some guru says you need, not what your neighbor has. What do you actually want to spend after tax to live your life? Most people have never actually calculated that number with clarity. Third, create a life value plan. What are you going to do with your time? Don't leave this vague. Schedule it. Your best retirement years are early, not late. These are the go-go years of retirement. These are between 60 and 70. Once you get beyond 70, it gets a little harder to do everything as you slow down. So treat these years as they matter because they do. Fourth, build a strategic drawdown and a tax plan. Social Security timing, Roth conversions, bracket planning, withdrawal sequencing. The goal here is to keep more of what you've built with less stress and not to work longer just so you feel safe. All right, if this kind of thinking is helping you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and please turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes of The UnRetired. We've got more videos coming on retirement planning, Social Security, taxes, and the mindset shifts that help you build a fantastic next chapter. Now, here's the honest advice that I promised you at the outset. If you're working past 60, don't just ask, can I earn more? Ask this, what is it costing me? Because after 60, the math changes. The health curve changes. The time equation changes. And for a lot of people, the returns on working longer quietly shrink, while the cost of waiting quietly explodes. So if your financial plan already works, if your numbers already support a good life, if fear is the only thing keeping you at your office desk, then my honest advice to anyone working past 60 is this: retire now. Not because you're done, but because this window matters, because these years are different, and because no portfolio statement is worth trading away the healthiest, most flexible, most possibility-filled season of your life. Look, I'm gonna say this one more time, just so it's clear. If you can afford it and your financial plan works out, retire now while your time is still yours to use. You're not done, you're finally doing what you want. And that's the unretired life. And if you like this video, YouTube thinks you might like these as well.